Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. The starting lineup. Ryan White and Max Taddy on the front row of the grid. Ollie Thompson and Ed Spade on row 2. Ralphie Branscombe and Andrew Sutherland on row 3.
Then we've got Sebastian Burlington and Ashley Hazard. Blair Smith, Fenton Stoneman on row 5, and row 6 is occupied by Cian Sullivan and Henry Holborn.
Rounding out the 13 driver starting lineup is Luke Jardine. Now, this is the 4-stroke class. Sadly, the Lionesses have been tamed this morning. But who will emerge as king of the 4-stroke jungle this afternoon? What price? Ed Spade, I wonder. We've already tamed one king of the jungle, the Lionesses. Can Ed tame 12 others? That was a FIFA Women's World Cup pun, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is going to be a standing start, and 1 or 2 drivers just missing their grid slot ever so slightly. Scotland, are you watching? It's a Scottish 1, 2, 3 on the grid. Ryan White, Max Taddy, and Ollie Thompson. Quick Iron Brew update. We're 1.5 litres down in the commentary box. Only 3 to go. Take the start, Magic.
We are having lights on, lights are coming on, lights are coming on, and we're away! And is it the pole man getting the lead? Well, everyone's got away cleanly, and who's that around the outside? It is the number 47 of Ryan White still leading the way. Our Scottish contingents obviously occupied the top 3 of the grid, the local knowledge being used to great effect clearly. But we have Ryan White leading, we have another driver, I believe it is Max Taddy in 2nd place, the 66 indeed it is, and the 18 of Ollie Thompson. So yes, the 3 Scottish drivers are still leading the field.
Now, in 2021, the first time in the modern era that Honda Cadet came to Larkhall, it was Noah Wolf who won on that occasion. Then in 2022, Cole Denham was the victor here in Scotland. So 1 Scottish winner out of 2 previous visits. 2 previous visits to the circuit for the Honda Cadet class. And at the end of lap number 1, there it is. White, Taddy, Thompson, followed by Spain. So it's Scotland, 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 Spain, and then Andy Sutherland.
Yes, Spain in the most liberal of senses there in 4th place. So
Andy Sutherland, another Scottish. We've got 4 Scottish drivers in the top 5. So yeah, there's the St Andrews Cross is well represented, and yeah, St George there in 4th position, the Spanish St George, so to speak, looking rather nervous.
Yes, and that is a move. Is that a move for a lead? It's ever so close, but no, Ryan White retains the lead. It's because he had that wider line, again, coming out of turn 7. Even though Max Taddy tried to cut to the inside, he just didn't have the exit to get the job done.
Now, everybody still in contention. Luke Jardine right at the back there. He's about a second adrift of Henry Colborne, Cian Sullivan, Blair Smith. Not the Blair Smith we saw in the previous race. There's different Blair Smith. Again, another Scottish talent. So we've got, yes, 2, 4, 3, there's 5 Scottish drivers in this grid. At least 5. Cian Sullivan. I'm not quite sure if Cian is from these shores or not. I don't think he is, but well, sure Cian's dad will tell me if I am giving him the wrong nationality, especially if he is Scottish. And from one Scotsman to another, it's now Max Taddy who takes the race lead. Max, who now leads the championship. Fenton Stoneman has got the fast lap of the race, but don't forget, Fenton and Max came into this weekend tied in the championship. Taddy took another 4-point advantage after the heats and finished in front of Fenton in the pre-final. So, as we reach the halfway point of the Honda Cadet GX200 British Championship at the end of this race, then Max Taddy is looking to carry a nice handful of points advantage over Stoneman. Stoneman, yes, he's got 6 drivers to pass, and more importantly, there's a big gap between Ralphie Branscombe in 6th position and Fenton in 7th. So Fenton, whatever problems have been afflicting him this weekend that have kept him a little bit off the pace, he's got to get them solved, and he's got to get moving quickly.
Yes, he does. Interesting point to work out. If you look on the right-hand side of our leading driver, you can see the blue and orange stripes on the helmet. There we go, on the engine, sorry, as we get close up. On the left-hand side or on the right-hand side, depending if we're looking on.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, if we're looking from the front. Those mean that that is a pooled engine. So that is not one of Max Taddy's engines. That is one of the Motorsport UK engines, which has been provided for him because he's in the top 3 in the championship, which means that, you know, giving out engines, making sure everything is fair.
So, okay, so that, again, you were learning something new all the time, and that was the idea. Oh no, number 11, Luke Jardine, out of the race. You can see he's got the black plates and the white number. That shows he's a novice driver. He's in one of his first 5 or so Motorsport UK licensed events. So Fenton Stoneman, Max Taddy, and 3rd place in the points standings coming into this round, Ryan White. So they'll be the 3 drivers with the Motorsport UK pooled engines. And I'm sure that Fenton Stoneman's thinking, well, I'm down in 7th. But Fenton Stoneman had the fastest lap of the race earlier on.
Yes, the pooled engine drivers, actually 2 of them are in the top 3, which shows how equal these engines really are.
Yes, indeed. Ed Spain now has the fastest lap of the race in kart number 72, running in 4th position. And again, when the sun shines, the graphics kits on these cars, they just glitter in the sun as we complete another lap. Now, Max Taddy has got a 4-point advantage over Ryan White in the point standings as we run. 369 points for Taddy, it's 365 for White, 360 for Ed Spain, and then 348 for Ralphie Branscombe. Fenton Stoneman on 347 has dropped from a joint 1st to 5th in the point standings. And Ashley Hazer, in fact, I think we were going to tell you what, if now you don't know this, Magic, but sometimes I talk to this embodied voice in my head, and I say to this embodied voice in my head, please show the people the point standings, and they appear just like that.
It has nothing to do with the fact we're mic'd up to our producer James.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all, Magic. Don't ruin the illusion of the people. The people think. No, of course, thanks James Fitzhugh, who produces all the rounds of the British Championship. So there is the championship standings as we run. So Max Taddy Ice, the maximum that Max can score after this race is 369 points. If we see Ollie Thompson, who didn't do the first round, so he's not going to feature in the front, if we see Ollie Thompson pass Max Taddy, then Max Taddy's points tally will drop by 3. It's 65 points for a win, 62 points for second, 15, then it's 60, 59, 58, 57, etc., etc. You score points at the end of the 2 heat races, you score 1 set of points. 65 for the best place driver at the end of the heat, 62 for the second best place driver, etc. Then you score points, another set of points for the pre-final, 65 for the winner, 62 for second, etc. And you score your 3rd set of points in the final itself. So the course of 1 round, you're competing for 3 sets of championship points.
And if the position stays as they are, Ed Spain will be 3rd in the championship, meaning for the next round, he will have the pooled engines.
Yes, and Ralphie Branscombe, and Fenton Stoneman won't. There is 6 seconds covering the top 10 and half a second covering the top 4. We've still got over half of this race to go. And yes, thanks to the magic of teamwork, yes, indeed. And yes, people aren't surprised that I have voices in my head if they know me long enough. But no, it's our producer James Fitzhugh who provides us. Well, it's Ian Rogers from motorsport-timing.co.uk that does all the back-end work, the technology, and then it's Alpha that brings all that technology to you, the viewers, wherever you're watching.
Bring the technology to the people.
To the people. By the people, for the people. Now, there are 3 zip karts, the 25 of Sebastian Burlington, the 48 of Fenton Stoneman, and the 17 of Ashley Hazer. And they are running 7th, 8th and 9th, with Cian Sullivan in 10th and Blair Smith in 11th. And a bit of a gap back to Henry Colborne, and sadly Luke Jardine has retired. So we got a 4-kart battle for the race lead. Then we have got Ralphie Bransom and Andy Sutherland 5th and 6th there in their own private battle. And then it's this battle on circuit. But this is a great to watch, but they are dropping further and further behind the leaders.
Yes, that was indeed. That was the 48 car. That was Fenton making the move to move into the lead of this little group of karts. They've got to work together, but they're not doing that, are they?
Nope, they're not. It's, yes. Well, I think Earl's been on the live chat. I haven't seen Earl this weekend, so he's obviously not here to crack the whip, as it were. Now, out of the final corner, we start lap number... Let's have a look. We start lap number 10. Taddy, what, 1500ths of a second in front of Thompson, with White just a fraction behind in 3rd position. This battle on your screens now is going on 7 seconds behind the race leader. Fenton Stoneman has finally made it to the head of this battle, and he's pulling away a little bit. 5 minutes, he is going to need an awful lot of help. You know, awful lot of help to make it to the front of the field before this race is out. And Cross-Eyed Lion, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the racing later on when you return from whatever you have to do. Do appreciate your support. Here we go then, Magic. Ryan White leads Max Taddy. Now, Ryan White has the lead of the race. If I can summon the disembodied voice change fit you in my head, you will see the championship positions. They may not have changed, but the points have changed. In fact, they have changed. Now it's Ryan White leading with 370 points, Max Taddy down to 366. So every time these two drivers change position in their battle for the race lead, the championship lead also changes hands.
Indeed it does. We have over 4.5 minutes left on the clock, and it is as close as you like. Ryan White has his work cut out here, I'm afraid, to keep this pack behind him. You can see how he's seesawing at the wheel there. You know, he's looking back to check where they are. He knows they're there. It's just a matter of time for him, really.
Now, so if Ryan White and Max Taddy, they have both got, look, they've both got the pooled engines, right? Just because they're going to stay in the top 3 in the championship doesn't mean they're going to get the same engine. It goes back into the pool, and they select a different engine, or they select another random engine. It might be the same engine, it might not be. They won't know that at the next round. So that is how the pool engine system will work. Ed Spain running in 3rd. Ollie Thompson has now slipped back to 4th, and Ralphie Branscombe and the number 49 card of Andrew Sutherland are closing in. 2 seconds cover the top 6. In fact, Branscombe, that Sharps Waste Management sponsored kart, is right in the thick of it now as we start to battle with 3.5 minutes to go. New leader Max Taddy.
Yes, as you can see, they're trying to sort themselves out, trying to get some kind of order. I'm worried that's slightly too late for such moves, to be honest. They're all on top of each other here. I reckon that we're going to see some shifting still, because we've still got over 3 minutes left, and there's 5 of them all together now.
Undoubtedly.
So through go the top 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count them up, count them down. Talia still leaves. White is in 2nd, and Spain is in 3rd, breaking up the Scottish contingents. The highest placed English driver
is actually Ed Spain.
Yes.
The highest placed English driver is Spain. I think that's probably enough England-Spain references for some of them. Yeah, there's still a little bit raw here for a lot of people in the paddock. Now, Stanley Clark said about 5 or 6 minutes ago, Ralphie Branscombe was going to win. At the time, Ralphie Branscombe was a couple of seconds behind the lead battle. He's now caught the lead battle in 5th position. There's a move, and Ollie Thompson, well, that's Scotland 1, Spain 0 going into the final. That'll make some people feel a bit better about life, maybe. And here comes Ralphie Branscombe around the outside. Oh my word, flirting with disaster. A round of applause here at Magic. That was a brave move, Magic.
That was definitely a brave move. Not the type of corner you normally would make that move, but absolute maximum commitment.
Maximum commitment didn't have to slow down, and if he'd been 1 more inch to the right, he would have had 2 wheels on the grass, and that would have been game over.
He would have been at Larkhall train station.
Yeah, he would have been at Larkhall train station, indeed. And so that was superb for Branscombe. He didn't lose too much ground, although still 90 seconds to go. Taddy and White still have this, and if we look at the championship points for a third and final time, you'll see that Taddy should be back in the lead. There he is, just by 2 points. So every move for the lead between these two drivers affects the championship picture as well. Just over 1 minute to go. So next time, well, there should be a couple of laps to go. Now Ryan White is actually pushing Taddy away from the rest of the field, and this could be a situation where White has got enough of a gap now to just have Max Taddy all to himself. If he just stays as he is, following Taddy and not battling with him for the next lap or so, there is Thompson holding off Branscombe. Now, in the first round at Glenagos, Fenton Stoneman took the win from Max Taddy and Ryan White. So at the moment, it looks like we're going to get at least one new podium finisher. Fenton Stoneman is down in 8th position, so the top 6 are separated by 1.9 seconds. Then there is an 8-second gap back to Burlington, Stoneman, Haase, Sullivan, Smith and Colborne.
Yes, that is how the drivers look at the present moment in time, and that is the 18 pushing very, very hard, but he's just lost out that position.
Yep, Ralphie Branscombe on to the podium as the clock strikes 0. Next time around, it will be the start of the final lap. We have more Hondas here than we had at Glenagos, and I'm sure we're going to get even more for the next round. If you could see the type of action that they do provide. Up at the front, Taddy, now defending from the Project 1 kart of Ryan White. That's a Birrell ART chassis underneath the 66 of Taddy. It's a Project 1 driving the 47 of Ryan White. Then it is Branscombe on another Project 1 kart. Ralphie Branscombe. Well, we've seen one driver go from 3rd to 1st, half a lap from home. Will we see another? Last lap board goes out in Honda Cadet. The 66 of Max Taddy leads the 47 of Ryan White. White trying to go around the outside of the entrance to turn number 4. Look at the run that Ryan White gets going up the back straight, but Taddy will defend, and that will force Ryan White a little bit wide. Watch out for Branscombe, Thompson and Spain. They are the next in line to pick up the pieces. Here comes Ryan White. He thought about diving up the inside. He hits the curb mid-corner at turn 6. Has that unsettled the kart enough? He's going to get a good run out of 7 though. Taddy checks over his shoulder. He's going to have to defend going into turn number 8. Here comes Ryan White. Watch for the crossover by White. Can Ryan White get alongside? No, he can't. One more opportunity to deny Max Taddy a maiden British Championship win. White drives it in deep, but it's not going to be deep enough. And Taddy crosses the line to take the win with White 0.15 of a second down, and Ralphie Branscombe on the podium for the first time in his British Championship career. Ollie Thompson second. It's a Scottish 1, 2, and Ed Spain finishes in 5th. 0.8 of a second separating the top 5. Brilliant race, tactical, overtaking, exciting, and more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, as clean as a whistle. Here are your provisional full results. Max Taddy takes the win from Ryan White and Ralphie Branscombe. Then it is Ollie Thompson in 4th, Ed Spain in 5th. Andrew Sutherland comes home in 6th position. 1.5 seconds separate the top 6. Then, in the battle of the zip drivers, Fenton Stoneman eventually emerges victorious over Ashley Haase, with Sebastian Burlington in 9th and Cian Sullivan rounding out the top 10. Between 7th, Fenton Stoneman, and 11th, Blair Smith, there was 1.1 seconds. Henry Colborne, the final finisher, with Luke Jardine sadly failing to finish. Have to say, so there are a lot of people in the live chat very pleased of Ralphie Branscombe. There's going to be a lot of happy Scottish people here in the paddock celebrating a 1-2 finish for the St Andrews Cross. This, of course, is the home of the West of Scotland Kart Club. If anybody watching this thinking, oh, Larkhall looks like a good place to come and race, please go onto the internet and look at the West of Scotland Kart Club to see their race dates. And they do offer a ride and drive here. So if you're, watching this from overseas and you fancy a future holiday to this beautiful, beautiful part of the United Kingdom, you can come and drive here at Larkhall in their rental karts, and it is a bumpy but exhilarating thrill ride around one of Scotland's classic kart circuits. There are other circuits in Scotland, some great circuits, the likes of Golspie and Crail, Banff, and places like that, but it's all about Larkhall, and it's all about Honda Cadet, and as Magic Camara is about to find out, it is all about Max Taddy.
Hello everybody, we are here with the Honda Cadets now. Plenty of stuff happened in that race. It was very close, I think, at times, it's fair to say. We've got our first place driver here, Max Taddy. How does it feel to win on home soil?
Yeah, it feels really good to win the British, obviously starting from second, getting to first, and yeah, I'm really happy with it.
There was lots of swapping and changing between that race. Did you have a plan, or were you in control from the set moment?
Nah, not really a plan, I just went for it as I go on.
Just went for it. And anybody you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my dad, my teammates' dad, and all my family for support.
Absolutely great to hear. Well done. There you go, fist bump. Thank you very much. We will be now speaking to our second place driver. Well, that was quite the drive you had there.
Yeah, it was really hard. In the end, Max won.
Max won. That's just how it happened. How did it look like from your point of view?
Well, at the start, everything was changing. Ollie Thompson made a move, and then I made a move, and during the end of the stages, DB was defending perfectly, middle of the track. I couldn't get on the inside, neither could I get on the outside to get a switchback. So, yeah.
And are basic question, but are you happy with your result?
Yeah, top 3 was always my aim.
Yeah, you had a happy driver. Awesome. This one, yay! A happy driver. And finally, our third place man who just managed to get on the podium at the last second. Come here, young man. Great job. You're absolutely beaming. You look really happy with that.
Yeah, I'm so happy because from GYG I couldn't find any pace, but from Larkhall it's my third time here and I have so much pace, and I was so happy to catch that gap from fifth to third.
You had a lot of sport online coming in as well during your race. What part of the race was really important for you? Was it towards the end that you really started making your moves?
Well, it was the whole race, because at the beginning I had to be fast to catch them, and at the end I just had to do the overtaking.
You just had to do the overtaking. Well done, Ralphie. Top job. Thank you. So that is your Honda Cadet drivers. You can see everybody pretty happy. So I think that's a good result for the Honda Cadets. Back to you, Henry.
Thank you very much. So we've had 4 races, 4 sets of happy drivers, 4 complete sets of fist bumps. It's Junior X30 up next. I wonder. Hopefully we'll have 3 happy drivers at the end of it, and hopefully there'll be fist bumps and no fisty cuffs. But blue skies overhead, this circuit which saw the likes of De Resta, of Franchitti, McNish, Coulthard, generations of Scottish talent began their careers here. If this tarmac could talk, what tales it would tell. We're sitting in one of the UK's most plushest new sort of hospitality viewing gantries. It was formerly the race centre for the W Series, believe it or not. So again, showing the West of Scotland Kart Club, the Moolsdale family, and the Scottish Kart community really, really investing in the facility that they have here to make it a must-stop venue for all major championships. There it is, and this has been around the world with the W Series, and now it's finding a permanent home in the hills and glens of Scotland. Once again, it be remiss of me not to point you to the top right-hand side of the screen. Racing with Sue. This weekend, there is a pall cast over the British Championship paddock. Sue Potter, one of our holding area officials who has been part of the karting scene here in the British Championship and in the previous guys, the British Championship Super 1 series, passed away suddenly not long after Kart Masters 2 weekends ago. Her husband Ken is out on circuit as one of the race directors. Andy, his son, he's the mechanic for Jensen Graham in this next race. All the Fusion Motorsport karts and many, many others around the paddock are running with that Orange Heart Racing with Sue. And I don't mention the Super 1 series very often as well because they were before the modern era, but I know that John Hoyle and the rest of the team that still run the Super 1 series would also like to pay their respects to Sue, a universally popular member of our paddock. But, you know, Sue loved her karting. She would absolutely want us to be carrying on and in celebrating and enjoying the sport. That is what we are going to do. We have 2 races to go, ladies and gentlemen. Junior X30 and Senior X30. But before we get to them, for one more time, let's hear from some of our sponsors. There is a look at the biggest grid of the weekend. 26 Junior X30 drivers set to start under sunny Scottish skies. Already, predictions coming in. Brandon Nagelvort, big P1 for Macaulay Bishop. George Quartermain supporting the Karts. Taylor Orridge getting some support online. Now, quick history lesson. Junior X30 came here the first year of the modern era in 2019. And the 2 finals, Caden McQueen won for Crop Promotions, Oliver Gray won for Dan Holland Racing. We didn't come here with the X30 class in 2020. In 2021, Oliver Stewart, Scottish driver, now racing in F4, he took both wins for the Jade Racing team. So far this year, Macaulay Bishop won the opening 2 rounds. Our pollster to Taylor Orridge won round 3. Will he win round 4? We're going to find out very shortly. Right, very quickly, here's your starting lineup. We now get to the podium presentation for event 6 of the Wera Tools British Kart Championship for the Honda Cadet GX 200 class. We're so happy there's an increase in grid size over the first round at Glenagos. We really hope that the grid continues to improve as the season goes on. The top 3 were separated by 0.6 of a second. The top 6 by just 1.5 seconds, so congratulations and well done to all the drivers in the 4-stroke class. Finishing in 3rd position, first time onto the podium, it's Ralphie Branscombe. But it wouldn't be a trip to Larkhall without getting at least 1 or 2 of the Scottish drivers onto the podium. We've got 2 now. Finishing in 2nd position, it's Ryan White. Now in the final, Ryan and our next driver were swapping the lead back and forth, and every time they swapped the lead, the championship lead changed as well. But your winner for the first time in his career, I'm going to be very careful because I know his family are listening, representing Scotland, it's Max today and his mechanic Peter. We'll need a higher plinth for Peter so he can just look over the top of the shoulders. There we go. But Max today, Ryan White. I know I was just joking. His family going to run off from me now. Okay. Congratulations, Max, Ryan and Ralphie.